Okay, one last bit before I have to get going. But so the neuroscientists are finding out that intelligence is really the quality of connections that you make between the neurons in your brain. So neurons that fire, they say neurons that fire together wire together. So normally what we do is just think, and we're not conscious of what we're thinking. Our mind just continually goes on without our awareness. And we do that maybe 80% of the day, 90% of the day. So it's wasted energy. So what they're finding is that, and they've known for thousands of years, and what science is now providing to us, and what major corporations like Google and many others, corporate entities, are teaching their power players and celebrities, is that this technique of meditation being to, instead of letting your thoughts just carry you along, really without your participation and without your control and your awareness, and then you just reacting to those thoughts with new thoughts and anticipations or memories, you create a division in where that you can observe that process. Just watch it come and watch it go. Watch it come and watch it go. And then what's happening, because of this, because your thoughts take so many avenues, and your emotions as well take so many different avenues and connected to so many different things, the past, the future. Your emotions are connected to your thoughts and your memories. That whole process of thinking and feeling and emoting and perceiving takes place in many different areas of your brain. So then if I create an observing presence that can overlook and oversee all those processes, what I'm doing is I'm making connections between them, and then to the associative area of my brain, where I put all those things together. Or just by observing, I'm connecting all those areas. I'm bringing them into a greater realm of consciousness. So you're literally interconnecting and absorbing all of this stray energy that goes on in your brain. And after a while, just through the act of observation, you'll notice a transition from being totally identified with your thoughts, in which there's no separation. Your thoughts are thinking you, because you have no control over them, to being more identified with that observing presence. So the thoughts and emotions that distract us, perceptions, that reactive capacity we all have all the time, is diminished to the point where it barely even exists. So you're in total control of your mind, and that's what it is. It's taming the mind. It's disciplining the mind through the act of observation. So then your mind can be said to be integrated. You're withdrawing all those projections, all those distractions, and what you're left with is just clarity and awareness that's beyond thought. That's why they say thoughts are the enemy. Now, because I've withdrawn all those, I've diminished and withdrawn all those projections and thoughts, I have a tremendous amount of energy now within me, potential energy. And I also have that clarity where I'm not distracted, just a peaceful, open awareness and clarity. So when it's time to choose and to focus on some task that I have to do, something I have to learn, there's no distractions anymore. You're all familiar with trying to learn something and your mind keeps on wandering from it when you're trying to read something heavy. You have to keep bringing yourself back, or anything, learning an instrument or learning anything. Your mind keeps on wandering off, distracted. Well, that no longer happens. You just have that ability to focus with no distractions on whatever it is you're learning. So your mind becomes more intelligent. You become more intelligent by doing that. So that means removing all prior knowledge, in a sense. Everything I thought I know. The things I need to have as memories. The knowledge I need to know, the valuable things will always be there when I need it. But everything else, 80% of it, is just wasted energy. Now that energy I could use for anything I want. And along with that, I have a complete clarity, lack of distractions, and the ability to focus my energy whenever and wherever is needed, and maintain a serenity as well. So those are the hallmarks of intelligence, and that's what I talk about when I mean generating your own intelligence. So it begins with learning to observe, to separate that separation between thoughts and the observing presence. Eventually, until there's nothing left, there's just this weird new being that's just has heightened senses, heightened perception. Everything's heightened because there's no distraction, there's no clarity, there's only clarity. And you have a feeling of a different being, like almost like you're an alien being living when you compare yourself to the past. And you recognize the power that you have. And as well, and you see indications of that every day as you practice more and more. It's competence, and power of the intellect, of the trained mind, of the disciplined mind. Because the mind is your tool. Before the practice, you are the tool. You're a tool. Just following and reacting, following one thought to the other, past, future. But now you've made a very powerful ally, this brain, this mind. And it can be used the way you will. So who are you? You're not the mind. You're not the thoughts. You aren't, because without consciousness you wouldn't be able to think. So all thoughts, they can't even exist without consciousness. But you make the separation between the observing presence, which is the origin of everything. Consciousness, without consciousness, what can you know? What can you experience? Nothing. So it's the source. When I say the source, it's the origin of all knowing. But the difference being that I can choose where to focus mine.